Welcome to the MadTrio podcast. This week we have the California Pariah, Jonathan Charney, James, the Fat Man, Stevens.
Hello.
Rob, the old guy.
Oh, yeah, from the Rob Charney Show.
And special guest today from one of the mischievous people from Oddassity,
Melanie.
Melanie's in the studio.
Woohoo.
Woo. That's right. We should have played the hoo-hoo sound. Sorry, we can do it ourselves.
So, introduce yourself.
I'm Melanie. I'm one of the creators of Oddassity, which is the unforgettable party game for mischievous people. And I'm here to hang out and maybe tell you a little bit about the game.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. That'd be great. So we finally have our real in-studio guest. It's also a sponsor of the show. So thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
She had a fairly long drive to get up to the middle of nowhere, so.
That's right. Came up to the country from the city.
It was nice. I went downtown, checked out my old hometown. It was nice to come back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to the bunker.
Thanks.
That's right.
So why don't we start off by, kick it off. We have the Oddassity game sitting in front of us on our odd-shaped table.
So, if you haven't had an opportunity to look at Oddassity on our website, all that you go to their website, kind of explains it a little bit better than what we may be doing here. But Melanie's already shown us a couple of cards that we can't even read on the air. So,
on this show? I'm sure we can read them just fine.
Yeah, but
that would be really hard to act them out. I mean, that's radio drama level.
There's a couple of here that wouldn't translate well for radio.
So it's basically improv style dares and challenges. So some wouldn't translate because you definitely want to see it. Others do translate, so I picked some of those out and I have them here in a stack. And basically the game comes with 3 Oddassity decks, which are kind of mild, medium, and spicy level dares or challenges.
Made the old guy blush in the last one.
I did, yeah. He read the R deck, the rated R deck. It's the spiciest one.
That was, yeah.
He got, his face went real red real fast.
All of a sudden turned into a church girl.
It told me what to do, and I wasn't going to do it here.
So we're going to stick with the mild deck, which is NSFP, not safe for prudes.
Yes.
That's where we start.
Okay.
If you're prudish, we suggest playing Scrabble.
Yeah, go to a different game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the middle deck is NC for needs consent. That gets into some level of touching or a partner that you act things out with. Like you might have to tickle someone or do a TSA pat down or massage or something like that.
That sounds like my first concert experience, getting frisked by the security guard.
That's right.
Exactly. See, we put that into a game and made it fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad Tool was a good concert because that wasn't helpful.
I think she's got her R deck here, and it's, like I said, there's some...
The R deck is R for racy, and that does get into things like possible strip teases or lap dance scenarios.
So maybe not good for a first date.
Okay.
Or maybe excellent for a first date.
Yeah,
It
go both
depends.
ways, right?
Good.
You don't know. You never know.
You start out the date with a bang, no pun intended.
I think that pun was very intended.
Yeah, it was. Very good.
So I do want to say real quick, if y'all want to check Oddassity out. For some reason I cannot say it correctly. It's ODDASSITY.com. Oddassity. So y'all can check it out and buy your own deck.
That's right. That's the goal here.
Okay.
All right. So tell us that you set up the game.
Here's the
and we
first
start.
card. So
Okay.
we take the deck. We're playing with the mild deck, the NSFP.
Right.
We flip over the top card. I'm going to read it out loud, and then we're actually going to draw from a different deck called the play deck. And the play deck will dish out the Oddassities like Russian roulette. It's going to say, yes, you have to do it. No, you don't have to do it. Might tell you that you get to make somebody else do it. Mm-hmm. Or it might give you a save and ask card, which you can hold on to, and then you can avoid doing an Oddassity at any point in the game.
Oh, wow.
So there's get out of jail free cards if you're uncomfortable with anything. And if there's ever a card you don't want to do, you can always just draw a different one, But the game is designed to push boundaries.
Okay.
We don't want to break boundaries. We just want to push them.
All right.
I can think of quite a number of people that might be playing Scrabble.
All right. I shuffled it. I have no idea how this is going to land. You want to draw first?
Wow. You have the power. Pick someone else to execute the Oddassity.
So you get to choose who does this card. Oh, I forgot to read it out loud. The card is Later Skater. Call someone, anyone, on speakerphone and promptly inform them that you can't talk right now because you're busy and hang up.
Oh, that'd be perfect for Ryan.
It would. But unfortunately, since we only have 3 people in studio, old guy.
You want me to call somebody?
Yeah.
Who am I going to call? Without a big explanation. Oh, let's see. Who could I call? Let's see. I'll try.
Heather.
Heather.
I'm not sure if that would go well.
All right, let me see the card. What am I supposed to... So I remember what I'm supposed to do here. Yeah, okay, call. Anyway, all right, we'll call. Where's Heather? Heather. Put her on speakerphone. She might not answer. All right, there goes the speakerphone. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. Hey! So, promptly... So, I can't talk right now because I'm busy. I got to hang up. I'm trying to be nice to you, Heather. We're playing Oddassity here.
Oh.
And that's what it told me to do. I had to call somebody. So, you were it.
Okay, well, it's been fun.
Thanks. So, you get to be on the show even though you're not on the show.
Oh, great.
Okay, later. Bye. So we see how that would work. I just couldn't do it to him.
So we basically tried to take a lot of games from childhood, which includes things like prank calling people, and put it into our game. So you might have to do a thumb war. You might have to do push-ups while eating food. There's all kinds of stuff in here, but it's like all the things from your childhood wrapped into one game. Each card is a different challenge that has some remnants of something you did as a kid.
There you go.
Hilarious. So we're gonna sprinkle this in with our normal show. So we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah. So who's the next person who gets to pick? So after this story, they get to.
So the Earth's axis has shifted due to the climate change. Did you know that? Melting glaciers and overuse of groundwater account for much of the change. Regions like Alaska and the Himalayas,
Like the
have
salt?
experienced the most glacial melting. Yeah, I'm not doing well.
You really need to cut down on those cocktails.
I really do. Whoops! We accidentally made the planet move.
But
Did you know
the
that?
axis actually technically moves slightly all the time.
But we're actually talking about more than the normal rotation. It's actually changed, apparently. Now, it all depends on who you... Probably,
And
you know.
we've been able to base this off of how much data that we've collected over the
How many-
years?
Well, a few thousand years maybe, thanks to the Chinese, but it's hard to tell, isn't it? That's the problem with all
Yeah.
the long-term studies that we've talked about before.
They're not so long term.
We've not been here that long to be able to make some of the leaps and bounds that our scientists have made.
See, I don't know. I have some friends who said their date the Earth really turned. So
Well, anyway, so
Pretty sure
apparently
it was
there's
me that
enough.
messed it up.
Apparently there's enough change. Yeah, and that's not the first time it's gone. Yeah, I'll be nice. I'll be nice. But apparently since 2000, they've had enough data just to change the notice that there is a shift change between the 2000s and now. So in 20 years, there's been some change that they're claiming that they can point to groundwater changes, because it's like you get a water balloon and you wiggle it, and it's like the water goes around in a circle and it kind of wobbles.
I'll be honest. I've
So
never
the
had a
Earth-
water balloon in my hand long enough to actually.
Okay, next story.
I think you need to go outside and get John a water balloon.
I think so. That'll be the next thing. See if he can hold it.
I have a card for that.
That's right, she does.
So talk about card. I guess who's the next person to pick?
Oh, you want to keep going? That would be him. And the new card up, we we played the other Audacity. So the card that's up right now that we're seeing who has to do it is called You're So Cultured. The group will now decide which accent you'll use, Jamaican, Italian, anything, until the next Audacity is performed.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so choose a minion to carry out Audacity.
I don't feel like I shuffled these very well.
Playback is a bitch. All right, that's you, Mr. Jonathan.
So we get to decide which
All right,
accent.
which accent?
What do you think?
I know an accent he does, actually. Fairly well.
Anything but Russian.
See?
That's
I was going to give him the Mexican one.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to get
Oh,
in
no,
trouble for
he's
that.
blushing. You're on the spot.
Yeah. Well, so which accent?
Mexican. Because James won't let you do your Russian accent.
My apologies to all the Hispanics out in the audience.
Maybe you better do the Russian accent because
Or
we're
you
not
could
going
do like Australian or British or something.
Nice try with that. Yeah, there you go.
I could do a really bad Southern Belle impression.
There you go. I like that. Let's hear that. I want to hear that.
You opened up the door
I
for
want to
that
hear you
one.
swoon.
That's right. Come on.
Well, I'm sorry, that popped me.
The swooning.
So much
That's
for
what
that,
I think
huh?
of when I think of the Southern Belle, because did you know that they wore like 80 pounds of clothing
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
with their corsets and all that? Like 80 pounds, and your ribs are wrapped in
Oh,
a
yeah.
corset. You can't breathe. They passed out all
They
the
did.
time. So Southern Belle, yeah,
Yeah.
the swoon.
A swoon.
My apologies. So let's see, how do I do this?
And you're supposed to do it all the way through until we draw again.
I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it up.
I
Let's
think
see.
you should read a story like this.
Yeah, go ahead.
McGruff, the crime dog actor, gets 16 years in prison.
Very good. Good. Southern accent. That wasn't Mexican, so you surprised us with it.
Galveston, Texas, John Morales, the actor who played the crime-fighting cartoon character McGruff, the crime dog, was sentenced to 16 years in prison, stemming from a 2011 arrest with police seized 1,000 marijuana plants, 27 weapons, including a grenade launcher and 9,000 rounds of ammunition.
You did a great
You
job.
made the words grenade launcher sound so pretty.
You did a great job. Excellent.
The shocking part was not the 1,000 pounds of marijuana, but the grenade launcher. I'm quite jealous.
Okay, wait a minute. That's a cartoon character voice. That's what was that Southern dog in so Walt Disney?
You're talking about
Dippity dog?
the which one?
Dippity dog? Was that it? No, I have to go back.
You talk
There's
about
a
Droopy Dog?
Droopy dog? Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
Droopy Dog.
Yeah,
no,
they
I don't
put-
think he sounds like Droopy Dog.
I don't know. No, there's another. There's
I
a
thought you were
Southern.
talking about Foghorn
Well-
and Leghorn.
Well,
you
there's
know, that
Foghorn.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh, there you
that's
go.
closer.
Yeah.
It's Foghorn. You got it, James. That's
Okay.
it.
That's what I was
That's
going
who
to go
he's.
with.
That's who he's channeling.
Why, do you remember the McGruff crime dog?
McGruff.
I
'cause
do.
He was the one on TV that would be anti-crime and say, Ruff, McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60693. I don't know why I remember that.
You know, that's pretty sad that you do.
I also know most of Jeff Foxworthy's material.
I love this
Definitely
voice
not
on you. It's a
channeling
whole new persona.
That's excellent.
I've
Good
answered
job.
the phone like this.
Yeah.
I usually do.
I say, hello.
I say, listen to what I'm talking to me, boy. My favorite to do that is you get the telemarketers who call.
You broke it. No, you got to keep going.
No, you're all right.
busted.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, so then you have
We'll
to do,
have to draw
now that
so
he broke
he can
it,
get
right?
out of this, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the next card is called Thumb Deep. Declare a thumb war with the player to your left while maintaining perfect eye contact. The loser must tell the room their deepest desire. All right, it's my draw. Ooh, I get a save an ass. I get to keep this card and play it to skip an Audacity.
Oh, this is a thumb war. Okay. So then that would skip and go to John. Huh?
It's his draw now, yeah.
So I draw the card?
Draw a play card, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy snaps. This was a close call. Do not perform the Oddassity.
This voice, I love that.
That's hilarious. By the way, I don't know if tomorrow I'm actually going to be able to do that voice. It comes and goes.
It's great. You did great. Way better than I could have.
And I actually credit Family Matters.
Oh, is that where it came from?
There's a scene where Steve Urkel's cousin Basically, it's the guy who plays Steve Urkel dresses up as his female cousin, and she's Southern. That's
Okay.
It's vaguely where I got that voice from.
You did great. I can't do voices, so.
I could do very stereotypical ones that generally piss people off, so that's why I generally don't do them. I blame Apu from The Simpsons for that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So I got another one.
Yeah.
So in a shocking news, eBay is banning hentai and other adult content.
eBay is banning.
Really?
Banning what?
Vice, you seriously suck. eBay is banning hentai and other adult content. Hentai is basically it's anime porn, more or less, and it's usually
So
very
no anime.
gross.
Yeah, it's like little Felix the cat.
So if you want to buy those vintage Playboys, you better do it now.
Where here's the weird thing: is like
And those nude playing cards. What else?
So none
do
of
they
that
sell
stuff,
on there?
or is it just they're just picking on because the anime is pretty raunchy.
in a
Or
new
DVDs.
adult-oriented item policy posted on eBay's
You can
website.
stop now. So our listeners, they're in the middle of a listen here. They're not going to understand what you're talking about.
The e-commerce giant stated the sexually oriented content, including sexual explicit films, anime, books, will no longer be allowed on the platform. Furthermore, any item containing nudity will also be prohibited, and even modeled clothing item that is see-through or very tight, like
Really?
kidding.
tight shows human genitalia. This is the first time this word's ever been on the show. The anus, nipples, areola, or female breasts are a no-go.
What?
Later on in this here's the part that makes me laugh. There are a few exceptions, however. The sale of sex toys will continue to be allowed by pre-approved sellers only if they are. Is this really an issue? Only if they are new and in their original packaging.
Who
guess
sells
that could
used
be an
sex
issue.
toys? That's a really concerning.
There might be a market
Like,
for that.
If they have to say that,
That's used.
there's
Oh.
a reason they have to say that.
It's obviously happened.
That was the first thing when I read that. It's like how that's like the old myth of the Japanese vending machine that sells used underwear.
Right.
Is
So-
anybody actually doing that?
So
I guess
eBay.
they also aren't banning Playboy, Playgirl, Mayfair, or Penthouse magazines.
They're not banning.
They're not banning those either.
My goodness, how are they going to enforce this?
Probably once you submit your product and you have all the pictures and stuff. The only issue is then they're going to have issues selling a lot of women's leggings because every picture you see of their very tight clothing to show that they fit.
And a lot of leggings are see-through.
Exactly. I mean,
And I actually know this from my Walmart days. And to quote one of my favorite movies, it's a privilege, not a right.
Well, at least now I know why they rejected Audacity. I tried to get us on eBay and I got rejected.
Harsh.
Yeah. Well, I put in the description it's an adult game, so they probably just saw the word adult and rejected me.
How long ago was this?
About a year ago.
you could probably re-up at this time. Change that adult only.
Yeah.
It
Switch
is
it from
sold on
adult to
there.
Oh,
mature.
is it? Okay.
One of
Mature.
our retailers sells it on eBay also.
Okay.
So I know it's possible. So I think it's because I put the word adult in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So that's interesting that eBay is going to that. So has anybody even used Craigslist anymore?
I know.
I haven't looked in Craigslist in years because, like, far as selling stuff, Facebook Marketplace is much better. Much better. Great use of English. I actually sold a shed on the Facebook Marketplace.
Are we drinking?
It's from that cocktail I had last night. It's
Okay.
gonna sing a rousing song of how dry I am. If anybody gets that.
Oh boy. Okay.
The only way I think they're going to do this is A, via the pictures, or B, via the description. And eBay's algorithm historically has also done really bad at misspelling. So if you were looking like back in the day when I used to buy bootlegs of music or other things, you would just have to misspell it in a weird way and you would find bootlegs of everything.
Yeah.
The same way it worked on Amazon, actually.
I don't know. That's that'll be interesting to see. Not that I ever look for that stuff. Lately, it's just watches and really boring stuff.
You don't shop for used sex toys on there?
You know, I haven't, but I'll look it
Who
up if you want.
Everyone's doing it, apparently.
I won't even type that into my browser.
I'm going to do that right now.
I can just imagine. Browser history. Use sex toys. Okay, we got a real perv on our hands here, ladies and gentlemen. What?
Okay,
And we just lost Melanie. There she goes. Sorry about that. I'm really grateful you didn't spit all that water my way. You okay?
Yeah.
You need a slap on the back or anything? We can manage that.
I need the applause sound
It
effects.
was
So,
all I could do to keep it from going all over your face. You really got me there. As soon as I take a drink of water.
Of course.
okay, so
That's
here,
what makes the show so much fun.
since I'm apparently not afraid of my browser history
Yeah.
being questionable,
You go ahead.
this
Go
is
for it.
this is off of Google.com. This is the first 3 actual results after the ad. Facebook
results?
Facebook.com. Buy and sell used sex toys. It's a public group, by the way.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And there's a Reddit. Shocking. There's a subreddit called
well.
Used Sex Toys.
I'll believe anything on Reddit.
And
Yeah, I was gonna say that Reddit doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that's,
and this is my favorite URL, so I'm going to read it. It's squeakycleantoys.com. Buy and sell used sex toys.
so it is obviously a thing.
Wow.
Wow.
I guess these people are really hard up. I don't know why you would do that.
Who knew? Wow.
I mean, are they for discount or do they raise the price?
They're
Yeah.
So?
No, I think they really want it. It's probably more expensive.
they're prorated on damage.
Well, I mean, there was the whole business of selling used panties from prison. I mean, that was actually a real thing. And the Japanese have, vending machines for used panties. I mean,
I've
That's
it's
an
a
urban
market.
legend.
I've-
Urban legend. I call urban legend on that.
So I remember watching one of those YouTube videos about the vending machines in Japan, and somebody actually talked about that. It said, well, they do exist. They were very rare during the day they were around.
Wow.
So I'm not particularly surprised.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's it's Rule 34.
Well, I
That's
never.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Now my Google history is a little questionable. Thankfully, I'm not signed in, so I don't have to get all those weird
There you
Facebook
go.
ads.
You know, you should make that an Oddassity card where you have to read your browser history out loud.
There's a good one.
Oh, I like that. You
Yeah.
know, we do have one where you have to read your last 3 text messages with Shakespearean grandeur.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
So, web browser, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll add it to the
Yeah,
list.
web
Thanks.
browser. Your browser history while looking somebody dead in the eyes.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Thankfully, my browser history over the last 2 weeks has been looking for old Disney stuff.
Yeah.
So, gonna read a real quick story because this made me laugh. President Biden's Venmo account was found in mere minutes.
Venmo.
He
He had one? And probably for raising.
Well, according to this, he would give money to his grandchildren. But more surprising in the fact that A, he knows how to use a smartphone, and B, he knows how to use Venmo. Because let's be honest, he's like 70 years old.
We don't. I beg your pardon.
You are the exception,
Okay.
not the rule.
Jeez.
Because I know a lot of older people who don't know technology. You're an exception because you've been a geek your whole life. Where do you think I came from it by? It's genetic.
Boy, did he backtrack on that one real fast. Saved your ass in that one, buddy.
My sincere apology.
It's good. I like that. James, you're up. It's your turn. James, we're having too much fun in studio today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can you tell?
I mean, he almost got sprayed with water.
I did almost. I had a duck.
Have you heard of community health systems?
Community health systems.
Yeah, they're apparently mostly Southern hospital group. They own about 84 different hospitals, and they decided that during this whole time they're going to start over 19,000 lawsuits on patients who aren't paying their bills.
I did hear about that one. So they, during the whole COVID time, they decided it was a great time to go ahead and start suing patients that haven't paid their bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
over 19,000 of them.
Good God.
So, question: how many are like the family of said people, and how many are actually the people? Because I'm assuming
They don't go into that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's getting too deep.
And
but they go from $201 to over $160,000.
well, these people are tone deaf.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just surprised that even a judge is even putting up with that.
Well, so there is, there has been a little bit of the discussion on what's fair, in business and what isn't. And did it really need to stop all the things that we were doing as normal commerce in the country? And that included evictions. I mean, it didn't have an opportunity to be challenged in the courts, where there supposedly was a moratorium on evictions of renters.
I think there still is.
Well, it turns out that it's hard to stop that from happening because, hey, if you're a landlord and you've got a squatter basically in your apartment and you've paid for that building, you've kept the upkeep in that building, you pay insurance on that building, you do whatever, well, all of a sudden now the government's going to go ahead and tell you that, no, sorry, you can't evict that person. I got a real problem with that.
Did we do a story? There was a story
It's
about
an interesting, environment that we're in as far as economic. I mean, like you just said, I mean, you do have a person who is trying to make a living by renting out their room or house or whatever, and you have people that can't pay. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's you don't want to see them on the street, but you also don't want to. You can't live either. So you're not getting paid for what you're doing. So
there was actually a story 6 months to a year ago about a couple family who sold everything they had, bought this house from a guy, and the guy didn't everything went through the transaction. The guy wouldn't leave, and they couldn't evict him because of the moratorium. So the guy got to live free in a house, and the couple were living like in a hotel.
Yeah, but this also this hospital group, it did say that they did receive $705 million in pandemic relief from the CARES Act. So they did get money.
Oh, so see, that's terrible.
I don't know how much that balances out the 85 hospitals with the staff that they have to pay and everything else, but they still have money that's coming in. I don't know about everybody that, is, paying out as far as renting to people. I don't know how much they got, but I know they could also, what was it? The PPE? Was that what it was, Rob? The PPPE or whatever, for employers. I don't know if that extended to renters.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking personal protection equipment there for a second.
Yeah.
No, it's I forget what it all stands for.
It was the small business loans.
Right.
That your small business, if they used it towards a certain thing, the federal government would forgive the loan.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
PPP.
As bad as that, the optics feel on that. Been using that word a lot today.
You get your eyes checked?
Yeah. No,
he's been reading business magazines, so he's really into the.
It's a whole. That word
wording
seems to be going into. Anyway, I won't get it. So here, as I stated my opinion with the whole rental thing, I have the same. Sometimes I think that hospital charges are just outrageous. I mean, when you look at the bill, you go to the hospital, right? And you take an aspirin. You get an aspirin. You go.
That's $18.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go to Walgreens, you pay, let's say 25 cents for an aspirin. You go to the hospital, get that same aspirin, and it's $10.25. So
it's a hell of an aspirin.
They put a lot of overhead on top of anything they give you because last time I was in the hospital, I went through that bill and I looked at it and I couldn't believe. I mean, it's pretty amazing what the markup.
I did that when I almost died from food poisoning. I remember looking at the bill. It's like, that was that much?
Yeah. So good reason not to go in the hospital.
So I think we need to draw another card that was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need
your draw.
My draw.
We need to.
Let's see here. You worry too much. Close your eyes and meditate while the next player draws a card.
All right.
Nay, you're the monkey's banana. Give the next ass in line a weird compliment as they draw a play card. I love your hair.
So I have to draw the card? Uh-huh. That's hilarious.
Somebody's got to draw James.
Yes, finally your turn to get down with the Oddassity card.
All right,
Oh, you got to do one of those.
So you have to do a thumb war with you and the player to your left.
Right, I need those tattoos.
Right, left, right.
You have a ring.
That's right. You do.
Oops. I guess.
Thumb more.
Yeah.
Really hard to do
with it, right?
Really hard
1, 2, 3.
It's really hard to do
supposed to be looking at each other's eyes at the same time. Is that
Yes,
it?
maintain eye contact.
really hard to do in the distance we are from our microphones.
Probably. Yeah.
All right, you have to tell everyone your deepest desire because you lost.
Okay, to quote a movie, my deepest desire to be married in my mother's wedding dress.
What movie is this from?
I don't remember. It's the problem. I remember quotes, not generally movies.
Quoting a movie.
Yeah, he
sure.
does. He's good with that stuff.
It's
I think that was a real desire. I don't know what movie that came from.
You know, so one of the stories I was reading here just recently is for years the U.S. government largely ignored reports of mysterious flying objects, what we all normally called UFOs. They have a different name now, right?
Wait, hold on. We got a break.
Okay.
Hopefully I'm hitting the right button. Do you want to keep up to date on the maddest of the mad at the MadTrio podcast? Check out our social media feeds on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or go to themadtrio.com.
So, good point for a break right there.
A wild ad appeared.
So recently, the government's been coming out with more and more information, which they've acknowledged, slowly beginning to acknowledge, that UFOs, which the Pentagon refers to as unidentifiable aerial phenomena.
Easy for you to say.
UAPs. So, yeah, which is typical for the Pentagon. So while it's certainly premature to speculate as to whether these flying objects come from another world, the U.S. military has recently confirmed the authenticity of several videos that they've been releasing to the public.
I love the confirming it's from another world. Like
Yes.
like somehow the Pentagon would be able to figure it out if it was from like Centauri Prime. They have really big eyes, like Christina Ricci, but bigger.
So next month we're supposed to see the national intelligence agencies are scheduled to deliver unclassified reports on UFOs to Congress. So we're going to slowly get some information about UFOs and are they real, or what the government knows about them. And I was talking to somebody else, and we started talking about a theory here about why all of a sudden the government has started to release information on UFOs.
Elon Musk is finally going home.
Could be. I mean, there's some movie scripts that might fit into that very well. But
Can we get Aerosmith to do the soundtrack?
what was that? Yeah. Anyway, with that said, one of the theories is that we may be visited soon, and it may be a public visitation.
Nanu,
Okay,
nanu.
finally.
I actually watched the thing on CBS on all of this last night.
Yeah.
And I have to say that I just find it very interesting that we had the whole Blue Book project.
Right.
And then I think kind of because of Roswell, everyone put this idea that it's aliens. And then that made it absurd. And then airmen didn't report it because they didn't want to get called out on being crazy or whatever, right?
Right.
And lost in all of that is a real threat because them being aliens is, I don't know what percentage, right? It's probably more realistic it's China or Russia or like another country that's ahead of us in our airspace, and it's not getting reported. Mm-hmm. That's terrifying to me. And this whole time it's like, wait, we're just now getting around to like making it public knowledge and acknowledging this, and you know what and it could, I'm not saying it's not aliens, but either way, it's a threat to our nation. And the fact that they made it kind of this big joke And then all these instances, like who knows how many times the airmen didn't report it.
Exactly.
That's terrifying to me.
Many fighter pilots have admitted the fact that they've seen strange things out there and they never reported.
Wasn't it Carter who's on record for saying that he saw something?
Yes. Yeah, he did. So
I'm gonna say it's back in the day. It wasn't uncommon for like this the what is it? It's the F-11. It's a stealth fighter. The F-11, the F-117.
Yeah.
When they were doing that,
Right.
and the black. The black
reports.
projects. There was reports when the SR-71 came out because at the time it was the fastest thing in the planet.
Right.
Those were reports of some strange, fast-moving object because you'd blink and it was gone.
So Project Blue Book, they went out and looked at all these reports. They'd take reports and they would, use some scientific method to determine, okay, could this be a phenomena or could this be a real thing or what could we aim this at? And they debunked a number of them. There's no
A
doubt.
weather balloon.
Yeah.
Swamp gas.
And some of that could be
That's what the
real.
Battle of Los Angeles was, a weather balloon.
Right? Like, wasn't the thing over LA, isn't that the thing that, like, took out warheads or something? There was something that, what was it?
No,
we
Battle
launched
of
a
Los
rocket.
Angeles
We
was
launched,
before that.
like, a test missile or something. And there was something that attacked it
Came
and disarmed
slurped
it.
up. And it's gone.
Is that what you're talking about, James, or something else?
No, Battle of Los Angeles was beginning of World War II before the Japanese attack. There was some object over there. And the U.S. military, which was already geared up for Japanese to come over that way, they sat there and fired at it all night long, and it didn't come down, whatever they were shooting at. It's even in the news reports and newspapers from back in that time.
Oh,
You can still
wow.
look them up. Yeah. Yeah, just go look up Battle of Los Angeles and you'll find a lot of interesting articles about it. And most of LA witnessed the military shooting at it.
It's really Marvin the Martian. He wants to destroy the Earth because we're ruining his view of Venus.
What was that
Are
movie
you sure it's not Uranus?
where
Nobody wants to see that.
the Martians would blow up on their Slim
I agree.
Whitman's music? The little green Martians would go around. You remember that movie?
Vaguely.
When Mars Attacks?
Yeah, Mars
that's-
Attack.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. How could I forget the title?
The one where they had to play the stupid song like Attack of the Tomatoes?
Slim Whitman.
Slim Pickens?
No, Slim Whitman, not Pickens. The other one.
I like it.
So there's finally going to be a movie that deserves a sequel, and they're going to do it the right way. Bring It On is finally getting the slasher film sequel. It's always deserved. So I don't know if you know what So if you out there don't know what Bring It On is, it's a cheerleading movie. So it was really popular back in the day. The first couple of sequels actually were in theaters, and I always thought, since it's a parody, at least it seems it's a parody of real life, it needs to be a slasher film, and they're doing it. It sounds perfect. I would see this in theaters. That is, if there were theaters open.
You think my
Hey, I
brother's
went
going
to
to
the
watch
movie-
it? Remember he had all the Bring It Ons?
I actually saw the first Bring It On in theaters, but I have never seen the rest of them. So, and I still don't believe he owned them.
I went to the movies on Saturday. It's an
You
actual
did?
theater. I did.
What'd you
That's
see?
exciting.
We saw the new Angelina Jolie movie. Can't remember the title of it because
nice.
it's too long.
When she was directing or starring?
Starring.
No, it's oh gosh, I can't think of the name of it. I've seen the
never good
things
at
for it.
movie
I haven't
titles.
watched it.
Yeah. But anyway, it was so I believe it was HBO Max that you could stream it, or you could go to the movie theaters and pay the big money and sit there with expensive popcorn and enjoy the
Those
giant
who wish
screen.
me dead.
Okay, that's it. Those who wish me dead.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to? I'll rate the movie as far as how many tomatoes do you want to throw at it? Or
So using the Real Flicks Reviews scale of 1 out of 5, what do you give it?
it's a 2.
Wow.
It's a 2. Yeah, I mean, if I had, all right, we wanted to go to the movies. We went with some friends. We wanted that we used to go with these friends twice a month, and before pre-COVID, on a steady basis, we liked the movies. We liked the whole experience of theaters and all that. So we said, let's go, and there's not a whole lot to choose from yet. And anyway, so this movie you could either stream it or you could go to the movie theaters. We chose to go to the theaters, and now I'm regretting it. I should have just streamed it and watched it on my TV. So
there's only 2 movies I still want to see this year. And I still don't know if they're going to be in theaters or not. One is the new
Dune and Ghostbusters?
Yeah, Dune and Ghostbusters. I've seen more trailers of Ghostbusters where there's little marshmallow men walking around in the store shelves. And Dune, I just want to see how bad or good it's going to be.
Why not?
But I don't know. I kind of like the idea, honestly, that if I can pay $20 and I can stream it at home, considering, getting time to actually get away to the theaters at this point is really hard.
Yeah.
Even without COVID, I didn't go to the movie theaters much. I mean, even before COVID. But I do go to one theater by my house. And once I went there, then I was completely spoiled. And I cannot watch a movie at any other theater. I would rather just watch it at home if I can't watch it at this theater. Because they have couches. They serve wine and beer and food. You can get a burger and kick back. And you have
Nice.
so
Sounds
much
like
leg
deluxe.
room. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a theater out down in Folsom Way. Called Deluxe. Well, it was. I don't even know they're probably not even open. They're probably
not open again.
They'll probably
either.
never open again now that I think about it. However, it was that way. I mean, you had, you could order food, you could have whatever you want to drink. They had a full bar.
The only thing I was missing was, can I pause the movie to go to the bathroom?
Yeah. And that'll be a feature of the lad.
There used to be a website for that where people would review the movie just to tell you when the perfect time to go to the restroom.
Yeah, when to go. Okay,
Really? Wow.
27.6 minutes in,
Yeah.
go.
Here's what you missed.
Well, I just looked. That theater is still closed.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I actually want to buy a digital projector is I want to turn my garage into a movie theater because I miss the experience, but who really knows when I'm ever going to get time again because I got a 4-year-old, and so that would be the best chance is setting up, and it's a special experience because you have to go to it and say I really want to do that.
There is definitely something about going to these, and this was shown in the IMAX theater, but in 2D, and there is something about going and sitting in the theater. There's great big screen and the sound that's immersed in.
I love the idea of watching a theater with a beer though. That sounds so much fun.
You'll be spoiled. You can't go back after that because it's the best of both worlds. You get the big screen, you get the sound that's all around you, so you feel like you're in the movie and that whole experience without anything that's uncomfortable. Your seats are comfortable. You can eat, you can drink. It's the best. And now I'm totally spoiled.
Yep. I can understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Well, hopefully they'll all open back up and we'll be able to enjoy that again.
Hopefully.
Well, it's
hopefully, we'll see.
Well, California just came out and said that even though the CDC came out and said of us fully vaccinated people, which I am, I don't know about the rest of you. We've got an anti-vaxxer over there. CDC came out and said that we could go about our business without having to wear a mask anymore. California, of course, decided, no, we're going to have to wait another month. So June 15th is going to be the date in California.
So I'll be honest, I kind of enjoy wearing the mask because people don't come up and talk to me. So it's kind of, I think even after this is over, I may wear the mask, except to the bank. I don't want to, I don't think I would look good in that jewelry. But I like it. It's wonderful. People stare at you and they don't want to talk to you. I don't get asked for help 1,000 times unless I need help. Like, hey, it's wonderful.
How did that help thing go?
Hey, because what it is, ever gone to Home Depot trying to find somebody? You got to pretty much scream.
You do.
It's true.
There's a Home Depot by me where I said, hey, can I talk to you? And the person turned around and went the other direction. It's like, I applaud
it's
you,
not my
but you
section.
suck. Yeah.
I used to get that. It's not my section. I don't know. I'm just walking through.
I just want the keys to get that.
If Home Depot know how many are their associates, whatever they call them over there at Home Depot, employees, associates, how many of them really are not particularly helpful. Where is this? I have no clue.
Well, in their defense, there's a lot of stuff in that store. So
there is, but it's the part of their job to go around and try to figure out where things are.
I had somebody say, can't you read the signs? Like, well, hey,
As you're standing right, I've had that experience, unfortunately, where I was looking for something and they'd look down and go, "You mean that?" Yes, that. Thank you. I just tested you.
So you bust out the I always depend on the kindness of strangers.
I love this persona. She needs a name.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
It's Jonathan's feminine alter
That's
ego
right.
or something.
I've always been waiting for it to come out. Must be the curly hair. I don't know.
The funniest part is the genesis of that was we were visiting family in Wisconsin, actually. And out of the blue, this lady who I guess had some physical problems, total Southern Belle accent. She said, "Can you help me with this?" It's like, I look around, like, what the hell was that? And so I lifted her bags up into the entryway, and she's like, "I always depend on the kindness of strangers." And it was just like this is, am I in a movie? What the hell? Because that is the only time, and the only time ever in my entire life that I have had anybody ever say that.
Yeah. I bet.
That's a once
I
in
don't
a
think
lifetime
I've ever
thing.
heard
Yeah,
that.
I've
It's
never-
like all of a sudden I'm in the deep south instead of Cheeseland.
That's right. You just never know. They do tend to get away from the South. I mean, your mom did get out of there.
Yeah, but she visited. She wasn't from there. Let's be honest.
Okay, college. I guess you're right.
That's an acquaintance. That's not a permanent. So talk about annoying Ford patented in-car ads, because we live in hell now, and that's the actual
In-car ads.
Yeah.
So in other words, if I buy a Ford, my infotainment center is now going to display ads.
So this is from
good God.
This is from Jalopnik. No idea how to pronounce that. So, by the way, this whole article is hysterical. Okay. I'm all for innovation in the automotive sector, but there are some technologies I simply cannot abide by. Ford's new patented billboard detector that can read ads display inside your car is exactly one of those technologies.
No. So in other words, if you're coming up with a billboard, it'll pop up on your...
I'm only going to laugh if it's Burma Shave.
You wish.
I will never buy a Ford ever.
If that's the case, I'm with you on that.
I am now anti-Ford.
Oh, man.
Our sister site gives, well, actually, Ford, if you give me a steep discount, you can put whatever ads you want on my car. Matter of fact, you can plaster
You could
the
wrap
side.
the car.
Yeah.
That's right. It used to be a thing where you could go get, some local business would pay for you to have your car wrapped with their advertising because you drove around, right? So there you go.
I am the biggest shill in the world. If you pay me, I'll say I love any product.
So
It's true. I can vouch for that.
Why?
That's something to do with Oddassity.
So, hold on.
Seriously, does this go further?
Our sister site Gizmodo reported yesterday that noting that Ford is trying to solve a legitimate problem, but in the worst way possible. Billboards are great, okay, for rapid fire bits of information, but they're not ideal for anything else. Phone numbers, addresses, website directions, and other bits of information don't translate well for the brief flash you get to see the billboard. By the way, I have never seen a billboard and go, "Oh, I wonder what that said." But said nobody ever. I've never said that.
Well, unless you saw a billboard that said, "Hey, I better write that URL down," or "I better write that phone number down."
I've never said that.
Don't you have to stop on the side of the road to do that, though?
No, I mean, heck no. Why bother?
Okay, here's
They never said you couldn't write with pen and paper while you're driving.
as
You gotta play
Gizmodo
with your phone.
as Gizmodo notes, we may one day end up paying extra for ad-free experience in our own automobiles.
Oh my God.
Ford, from everybody at the MadTrio show and Old Guy Tech TV, fuck you. And you can quote me on that. Filling up a gas tank is already a miserable experience. If you make the dire mistake of stopping at a station, they'll blast an ad at full volume. That always makes me laugh, actually, because it's every time at my gas station, it's Maria Menounos selling her podcast, and for some reason, it just makes you laugh every time.
You know what? I have not stopped at a gas station that's had those in quite a while. But the few that had them are gone.
The gas station I stop on my way to work has them.
Still.
Yeah, well, they're actually new because they use the chip. So the brand new gas pump that has the chip built in.
I'm trying to think. We have 2 gas stations in Eldorado County that do the little stupid. No, 3. There's the Chevrons, I think, do them too.
Yes, and
So
Shell.
it's the AM, PM, Shell, and Chevron have those stupid little things that start playing ads and other crappy television. I just usually tune them out.
And the only good thing I
They
ever
need to
saw
put
those.
mute buttons on them. That's what
Yeah.
they should do. They should put mute buttons on those things. So you just push the mute button and just
Oh
live
God,
in
that would be
peace.
so nice.
So
That's a great idea.
the best thing I ever saw with one of those was this guy that was pranking people that would, I guess he had permission to go into the station, and he'd set up a little thing, and he'd see who was there, and he'd go, "Hey, you blondie over there, what are you doing?"
That's hilarious.
And he would do the, "What? Yeah,
That could be fun.
yeah, that could be fun." But you can't get too many stations letting you do that.
I'd freak out.
Yeah.
I'd love to see said particular gas station to fill up with, because if you, depending on when you fill up, you'll see people in like $120,000 cars, and I think that would be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
It's still one of my favorite towns to visit. When I moved it to said town, it's one of the richer areas of the county we live in. Every woman in this town was completely blonde, and then when the economy started going down, you started seeing the hair color change. And I didn't.
funny.
James actually noticed that, and we jokingly called it's the hair color economic index.
There you go.
And I legitimately had a conversation with an economics student, and the guy's like, that's actually a really good economic indicator, and just went into this long-winded conversation. I'm like, I'm right though, right? But just can I get this in writing?
That'd be a great thing to write your thesis on or something.
They have
Let's do it.
a happiness indicator, and they've monitored it over the last year. And a few days after George Floyd was murdered, he, not the day that he was murdered, a few days after, was the saddest day in the world collectively. The entire world hit record lows. Since this, like you said, we can't go back we can only go back so far with our records, right?
That's right.
But they've been running
Right.
it for a few years.
Yeah, okay.
For I think since 2015 or 16.
What did they base this off of? Like,
So
Gallup polls and call some people calling.
yeah,
By the way, are you happy or sad?
Are you happy?
Yeah.
So it was on a podcast, and I don't know if I'll recall exactly, but it had to do with Twitter and words having value. And so it was an algorithm of like happy words versus sad words.
Okay.
And it would go through Twitter and see what people were posting.
Okay.
And so the host of the podcast interviewed the guy who created this thing. It was called I can't remember what it's called. I keep thinking hedonism. It's like the hedon measuring machine, hedon something. And he used it on the interviewer for the podcast. And he said, well, use it on me, like go through my phone and my texts and stuff. And so he did. And he told him over the last year, this day you were the saddest. This day you were the happiest.
Wow.
And it correlated. It was actually accurate. And the reason it was a few days after George Floyd died was because it took time for the news to get out there, for
Sure.
people to know about it.
Right.
I thought it was really interesting,
So
though.
the World Happiness Report. The World Happiness Report is a publication of the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network. It contains articles and rankings of national happiness based on
we go.
respondent ratings of their own lives, which reports also correlates with various quality of life factors as of March 2021. I would be curious if they have 2014 or whenever Robin Williams died. I would be curious on that.
So they probably, if they can go back in time, there's probably numerous periods of time where very famous people passed away or major events happened.
I'm hoping
Start of a war, whatever it may be.
I'm hoping this isn't based off of Twitter, though.
Yeah.
Everybody in Twitter's miserable.
They needed unlimited amount of data in order to create the algorithm.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
then
it
that would
helped
be
them
perfect.
create it. I don't know if it's the only thing that it works off of now, but that was how it got started.
Yeah. Great.
No, that makes a lot of sense. But if anybody's ever on Twitter, there's not a single happy person on Twitter.
Yeah. Seems like it anyway.
Actually, no, there's two, and they're both pro wrestlers. There's the two happiest people I've seen on Twitter.
Well, if Trump ever gets back on Twitter, he'll be one of the happiest.
This is true, but the morality of the everybody's not going to be happy.
Then the world happiness meter goes down. His goes up, the rest goes down. Well, they said that. It was interesting, and I'm not going to get into politics or say that it speaks to Trump, but things did go down starting 2016. It started going down.
The entertainment factor went up, though.
Well, only for 50% of the world, though. You got to remember, 50% of us liked him, 50% didn't. It was almost an exact split.
I'm just telling you what the machine said.
Yeah.
And we've been going down since, including since Biden took over. So.
Well, that
does seem to be very little to be happy about. This COVID thing hasn't helped anything. So
one thing after another.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We all want somebody who was closer to the generation we were born in.
Not me.
Well,
Are you talking about our generation?
Yeah,
John?
for the younger people in the audience.
Good luck with that.
You're not that young.
No,
I got news for you.
I want to see a millennial actually run for president, and you hear them start complaining about their avocado toast not being cooked correctly.
Yeah, you may be right about that. It's going to be interesting.
I think it'd be hilarious.
I have a random story for you.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
We'll close with this.
So I was reading online today that there is a fungus that has evolved to grow in the same lifespan or life cycle as the cicadas that are coming this year, the 17-year cycle, right? And it's psychedelic fungus. It has psilocybin in it, like magic mushrooms, and it infects the cicadas and takes over their bodies, and at some point their butts fall off. No joke. I know you're looking at me like I'm crazy, and I had the same look on my face when I read it, but these bugs are literally tripping their asses off. Like literally, and I stole that joke from a friend of mine, but literally.
Because their butts are falling off. Got it.
And it gets spread through when they mate. So
it's an STD.
It's a psychedelic cicada STD that makes your butt fall off.
Oh, no.
I thought it was the most random thing I've ever heard.
That's up there, and wow.
Let's hope it stays with them.
I told you I had a random story. I warned you. It was random.
No, I think that's perfect.
That's different. Well, great.
You know, there's people going to go out and start trying to eat cicadas to get high.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
They're definitely going to.
It's going to be interesting.
You know, if I know people who have taken hits of Freon to get high, I can totally see people who would try to eat a cicada.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or it might happen by accident, because there are several restaurants that serve cicada dishes as like a seasonal treat, you know?
Probably gets cooked off, though. You probably have to eat
all of a sudden,
almost a live cicada.
All of a sudden, they're hearing colors and seeing words. That would be perfect.
Like, this is the best meal I've ever had.
Yeah. Boy, I can guarantee you somebody's trying it. There's enough, let's anything to get high.
In 5 to 10 months, this is going to be a Joe Rogan podcast. You're going to hear somebody talking about the tripping balls on cicadas.
That's
I can
right.
just see it.
And we're going to call Joe Rogan and say we're going to take credit for that story because Melanie was on our show on this date and we talked about it first.
And she's one of the creators of Oddassity. Go to oddassity.com. Pick up your pack. They do have monthly game nights, so stay tuned to their Facebook page for event times and dates.
And I want to thank you, Melanie, for coming on into the studio and be part of it. You're welcome back anytime.
Well, thank
So
you.
you're a great fit with this. So I know it's a bit of a trip for you to come here, but so thank you.
Not at all. This is my hometown. I love coming back
Well, there you
anytime, and I've had so much fun. You guys are great.
Oh, good.
This has been awesome.
Well, you know what we could do is, when Ryan can't be on the show, we'll just call Melanie.
There you go.
Perfect.
I'll be on call.
There you go.
A lot. Because for some reason, he's either visiting his favorite client or just does not want to ever come on.
That's a dead joke.
Oh, shit. That's even worse than what I said. Well, I think it's time to end this show.
Yeah, I think so.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for the California Pariah, the Fat Man, the Old Guy, and our special guest, as always, thank you for listening.
Come on.
Bye.
Bye.